Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. I got 2-3 comments about weapon and weapon builds recently. So what I thought I could do is cover some of the main guns that we are using in the game right now, the ones that are buffed recently and are useful, along with some of the statistics, and just make a quick video going over the builds on all of these things and the swords as well. We'll start with the Peacemaker because I got a comment on this one asking for how the Valby's fourth ability gets extra ammo with the Peacemaker. So I'll go over that, but just a quick look at the course here. So this one we use mostly as a stat stick. So we don't really have to worry about building this gun. She can benefit with extra non-attribute power, Valby, just by holding this gun. And also you can increase the maximum bullets on her fourth ability. So those are the main two things we use this gun for. The rest of the course we are using quality of life stuff like sprint cores and grapple hook reduction time. So that will make her run faster and grapple cooldown will be lower. You don't worry too much about the red core. You can put crit rate if you want, but we are not really going to shoot with this weapon. The only thing here in the options that you really need to care about is the rounds per magazine. If you want the maximum bullets on her fourth ability, you want the 12% here. Exactly 12%. 11.9 means one less bullet. So if you can get 12%, great. Start with this one so that you don't use too much of your fine adjustment axis, and then once you lock the 12% in, you can just get the gold on all the other things. Again, like I said, we are not even going to shoot the gun. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly swap one of these just to show you what this gun does. So if you see here 0.972, this is the non-attribute power. Now when we use the Peacemaker, when we use the skills that are either dimension or fusion, you get something called single reload for peace. This is basically non-attribute power increase. So you can get up to 5, and as long as you're using these skills, this will be active. So this is your single reload for peace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you see the non-attribute power, 1.402, it was 0.972. So it goes up really quickly. And if you keep using your skills, it will stay maxed out. It won't have like a timer like some of the other skills. So that is the main thing that this gun does for non-attribute descendants if they have dimension or fusion skills, which Valby does, because Valby's 4 skills, this is fusion, this is dimension, this is dimension, this is fusion. So she will get that single reload for peace, whichever skill she's using. Now onto the ammo thing. So if you look at Valby's fourth ability, so if you see on the exclusive weapon, it says 15 shots. Okay, so 15 shots by default. Now, if you scroll down in the laundry section under the cores, you have various benefits if you put weapon cores. If you put 4 cores in your gun, the gun that you're holding, which is the Peacemaker here, we get 80% more rounds per magazine. So 80% of 15 is 12. So we had base for 15, we'll get another 12 with 4 cores if you put 4 cores. It doesn't have to be like the best cores, just put 4 cores. We have expand weapon charge, compulsive magazine. So this gives us 49, this gives us 39, 88, and remember the 12% we had on the outside, that is 100%. So we get another 100%. So 15 default, then we get 12 from the 80%, and then we get another 15 from these mods, 2 mods and the roll on the outside. So you end up with 42. Okay, so we start with 50, and this way the maximum you can get is 42 over here. So you can do a great job against Elise. Valby especially good in the Forbidden Sanctuary. She can take care of the 3 elites bosses very, very comfortably. So yeah, so this is how you can use that. And also in the Forbidden Sanctuary, you have a couple of areas where if you pick up the orbs from the tyrants and the boss in the middle, you get like 60 seconds of infinite ammo and MP and things like that. So you can actually keep firing this until you have the duration of your fourth ability and do a lot of damage. Yeah, so that is the Peacemaker. All right, next up, let's look at the Shadow really quickly. I have actually talked about the Shadow quite a lot in my recent build videos because this got a buff not too long ago, and this is the main sword that we use currently. And now this is a non-crit weapon. This is the additional attack. So additional attack is similar to how multi-hit works on the weapons, on the guns. So we go with that setup here. On the cores, we have melee weapon attack, melee weapon toxic attack. We have 3 red cores where we can put additional attack damage or additional attack chance. We take 2 damage and 1 chance here. In the options, we have again additional attack damage, additional attack chance, melee weapon attack, and the 4th one I've gone with attribute status effect trigger rate. You can go with toxic here. You can go again a specific faction, for example. So up to you. Again, I ran out of the fine adjustment axis and I did not want to waste anymore. So this is fine as it is. Now on the inside, we have the similar setup to weapons. We want to increase the melee weapon damage. We want to increase the melee weapon additional damage and the additional chance. Increase the range, make it faster. Because we don't have fire rate, we have this mod here, faster attack speed. And then we have the element mods and things like that, and one special mod or something. So these two will give you the melee weapon additional attack. This one has a negative, similar to how action and reaction works on the guns. Then we have the increased range and faster attack speed. Then we have the element mod. So we have toxic enhancement, toxic priority, and the toxic conductor. This one, exquisite strike, gives you additional attack chance. Double edge gives you additional attack damage. And then we have slaughter, which also works when you land the additional attacks. It gives you more damage for a bit and things like that. So yeah, so this is a simple build for your Shadow. And also try to get the maximum level 10 cores and the maximum you can get the gold numbers. So that way you'll see this massive DPS number, because a lot of people keep asking like, my DPS is very low, how is yours so high? Yeah, it's just usually due to the cores. And this sword is also pretty good for taking out vulgar ships as well. So you can just use your right click, hold your right click to charge it, and then dash upwards. And you can actually take out the vulgar ships with this as well. All right, next up we look at the Exterminator, the weapon designed to take out the vulgar ships, the a hardened shell of the tyrants in the accent planes, and also the cluster sacks and things like that. So this was a battle pass weapon in season 3 episode 1. It has come back to normal loot. You can get it from Descendant with the support coins, and also from Eckhart. They have missions every 3 days, and so if you get a mission for the Exterminator, it'll be very easy to get hold of this one. Now on the outside, we build it with fire rate and fire element. So 2 fire element cores and 3 fire rate cores. And the options are explosive attack, fire attack, multi-hit chance, multi-hit damage. Very simple. Now this gun is used for a very specific purpose, so the build is a little more flexible. Let's say you're not focusing too much on like building it into a very strong weapon. We just have to right click and point it at the ships or something and just take them out very quickly. So it's an occasional use weapon. You'll not be using it throughout the mission because it has high powered rounds as well, which are harder to come by as well. Anyway, so we go with the explosive attack mode. So we have rifling enforcement, action reaction, and charge amplification. Then we put the element modes, fire enhancement, fire priority. We put 1 expand weapon charge, so rounds per magazine goes up. We want recycling genius to increase the reload speed. And then fire rate up, very important, fire rate. And then we have expand high powered magazine, so we can carry more high powered rounds. And then general round charge improvement. So what this does is when you're killing enemies and you're walking past and you're picking up the general rounds ammo, they are converted into high powered rounds, because again, high powered rounds are harder to get. So this is handy there. Now this is for, like I said, everybody besides Glay, Enzo, Serena. For Glay, you basically don't need to put any rounds per magazine, any reload things, because Glay doesn't care about ammo. You just use her third skill, and for the entire duration you'll be fighting. Now we won't be really using this unless you have the Predator Instinct on Glay and you use both the Restored Relic and this one. So Restored Relic for most of the enemies, and then when you have the ships, you switch over to this one and do the same thing. So basically that is the main change here. We are using ammo optimization, increased radius. We are putting the multi-hit chance and the multi-piercing sight for the multi-hit chance and multi-hit damage. So yes, so the rest of the build is similar. You can see we have the element cores and things like that. And for Enzo, we have something in between, let's say. Well, it's actually similar. We are using the increased radius and ammo optimization because Enzo can also keep fighting and get some bullets, but he cannot have infinite ammo like Clay. And this should also work with Serena. I haven't played Serena recently, but yeah, with Serena, again, most people were using the Restored Relic, so it's very similar. And by the way, you can have the exact same builds for the Restored Relic as well, including the cores on the outside and everything, and you'll have a similar result. So yeah, so this is the one for everybody besides these 2-3 people. All right, moving on to the Fallen Hope. Now, Fallen Hope, after the buff it got in December, I think, it is now exclusively Frena's gun. It's ideal on Frena. Other people will not benefit from this gun's extra toxic power, basically. So once again, Frena has the 4th ability that is an exclusive weapon and has some ammo. So we do the same thing here. On the outside, we put 12% rounds per magazine. And on the inside, we put the expand weapon charge, compulsive magazine. We have the 80% from putting 4 cores into the weapon that we are holding. So we can see 80% there. So she starts off with 50 shots in this one. 80% of 50 is 40, so that's 90. And then we get another 50 with the mod and the roll on the outside. In total, we'll end up with 140 rounds in this enormous weapon. And you can take out multiple vulgar ships with this. You can take out the elites, the tyrants, a lot of the enemies. And yes, a very, very strong, unique ability. We also have the infected weapon, the trigger module, and also another infection amplifier module. So it's a very, very strong damage dealing skill now. For the rest of the build, again, this is a bit of a hybrid. This is not just a static. We can shoot with this. So I've built it around that. So I've put firearm attack in the free core. You can also put toxic there if you wanted. Then we have the firearm attack. We have the toxic attack, fire rate, and sprint speed, just to give her some speed. Besides the 12% rounds per magazine in the options, we have firearm attack, multi-hit damage. You can also go with multi-hit chance. I've put Legion of Breach there. You can put multi-hit chance there as well, or you could put toxic there as well. Now, the Fallen Hope has the highest multi-hit damage in the game, the highest for any gun. So yeah, so multi-hit is its strong suit. We go with the usual firearm attack modules with rifling reinforcement, action reaction, charge amplification. These two again were for the Freya's fourth ability. Then we have multi-percussion sight for the multi-hit chance, multi-piercing sight for the multi-hit damage, toxic enhancement. We are getting fire rate, and we are getting multi-hit induction. Now, Fallen Hope, let me show you the toxic damage. If you see, the toxic base damage is 1.286. Okay, and when you use this one, you see those two skull type things. Those are again stacks, similar to how Valby has that single reload for peace. So when you get 5 of those, you get an additional 95% toxic attack. So again, works very similarly to how those work. If you keep using them, it'll stay at 5. But when you use your exclusive weapon, you will lose all of them. All right, next up is another stat stick. We have the Secret Garden. Now, the Secret Garden is a great gun for people who use tech skills. So for example, Nell over here, her first skill is tech and her fourth skill is tech. Okay, and then you have someone like Ines who has all 4 skills as tech if you are using the Time of the Hunting Hounds. Freyna is also using 3 tech skills. We have people like Kyle, Asimo, Lepik, Ajax, all of them use a lot of tech skills. So what this does is when you're using tech skills, it increases your skill power over here. And when you land, when you use 3 tech skills, and it's a 50% trigger, so it's tech skill. When you use tech skills, it's 50%, and you can get 3 stacks, which will give you some extra power. Other than that, yeah, we don't really use the gun. It's a very powerful crit gun, but we don't really use it these days. It's mostly a stat stick. So once again, we put cores that will improve our quality of life. I've put 3 sprint cores so you can run very fast. And then on the outside, we have the usual firearm attack, critical hit rate, critical hit damage. I've put 12% because once again, I was using this with Freyna. So I wanted to put the 12% there. And we have this sort of setup for the action planes. You can put brisk walk. So you get more movement speed, I guess. You can put Veil Analyzer if you're going into the Void Vessel to break the shields. Let's see if we can get the pest control here. You can see that round circle thing, that is the pest control. You got 2 of those, 3 of those. So if you remember, our power was like 24,000 or something. It's now 33,000. So yeah, so this makes you very, very strong skill power. Now it's gone back to 24,000. So that is what the Secret Garden does. Now this whole video idea came from somebody asking for a build for the Hypernova. Hypernova is almost identical to the Deus Ex Manus. Both of these swords are crit, and both of them have chill as the main element. I don't know why they went with 2 chill weapons. I was fully expecting this to be electric, but it isn't. It's a chill. So in the first core, we have melee weapon attack. Then we have 2 chill attacks in the 2 blue element cores. And then in the 2 red ones, we have 2 crit damage ones. Further down in the options, we have melee weapon chill attack, melee weapon attack, melee weapon critical hit rate. You can go with critical hit damage. Again, I've gone with additional weapon attack versus Legion of Darkness because I guess we are using this against, this is chill weapon, it will do better against the Legion of Darkness. Those guys are weak to chill. Again, I usually run out of the fine adjustment axis, so the fourth one is something weird. On the inside, again, very similar. Instead of the multi-hit stuff we were using on the Shadow, we are using the critical stuff here. So once again, melee weapon attack. We have the chill enhancement, chill priority, increased range, faster speed. Lethal swing gives you more crit damage. Sword dance gives you more crit rate. Better insight gives you more crit rate. Better concentration gives you more crit damage. And that is basically your simple build for the Hypernova. Of course, you can change things around here and there a little bit. I think there is a mod called something Morvald or something. I don't know if it's for this one or the Shadow. Eye of Morvald. So this one, when landing a critical hit, melee weapon critical hit damage 12.5% for 5 seconds. And this is unmodded, so it will be much higher. When landing a critical hit while the effect is active, deals additional damage equal to 5%. Melee weapon attack. So you can use this for something like, I guess you could drop the chill priority if you wanted more damage from the gun. So, sorry, not the gun, the sword. So yeah, so you can use something like this. Deus Ex Manus is exactly the same. So I'll just quickly show you because I don't want to take too much time going over it. Again, you can see we have, the only difference is we have 3 red cores. In the Hypernova, we had 2 red cores and 2 element cores. And this one, again, we put all crit damage here. And once again, we have the melee weapon attack, critical hit rate, critical hit damage, and the chill attack. Inside, you'll see it's a very similar setup to the Hypernova. And yeah, this works very well. Increased range, because this one works slightly differently where you hit the enemies and you use your ultimate on your weapon. So basically, you see under the right click next to the Q. So you do this and then you get this ultimate. If you have increased range, you'll hit more of the enemies and you'll get that very quickly. So if you do this, you can see I one swing and I got the 4th. So that's why increased range is very helpful on the Deus Ex Manus. All right, I think that is it for all the weapons. I don't want to make this too long. Any other weapons, let me know. But I've covered some of the main things, the 3 statistics, let's say, and we got the 2, all 3 of the swords basically, and the Exterminator. I think those are the most useful weapons that you should consider building first. And then after that, if there is something specific, I'm still working on the E-Buster weapon for Ines because that is also giving her extra electric power, and the Eye of the Typhoon thing. Yeah, I've just not been able to play much recently. I haven't even had the chance to switch on my PC for more than a couple of hours every day for the last few days because of some issues with my UPS, and also been busy with some of the other things. So I'll try and make videos whenever I get some time. But yeah, let me know if you need any other weapons. Thank you for watching. See you next time.